So hey, this is going to be a little companion piece just to go along with the footage you're probably seeing of Electrocop running. What I want to do is a couple videos maybe coming up of reviewing some Lynx homebrew games, but I thought it'd be good to start with like kind of a how I'm doing this. So if you're curious about Lynx technology, you can kind of get an idea for it. This video isn't going to be very fancy, and the recording quality of my voice probably isn't that great because I'm just going to use the onboard camera for this quick little video. So there you see a Lynx II, second revision of the Lynx, but it's a modded Lynx. Just to go through the very technical details, that's really what this video is about, and how I'm going to capture Lynx footage in case you're curious about doing it yourself, or just how it works. It's modded with the McWill screen mod, which is very famous, and it gives it a very bright screen. I will show you that real quick, although it's going to screw up all the other technology hooked up. If it lets me do it. Oh, there we go. So, you know what? When I try to film it, it's not going to be very great because the Lynx original screen needs to be replaced if you want a modern Lynx to have the real excellent output that it deserves and was capable of. But the original screens in it is just old parts and they're not great. I'm not a technical expert, but you get a Lynx and then you get the screen replaced, and it's pretty expensive. A couple $100 to get a mod done and get things recapped and things like that. Lots of other stuff like that. Ask me in the comments if you're curious. So then the next thing, sorry with the blur, I'm gonna be manually like adjusting this as we go on here. It's a little hard to see, is a very cheap, janky VGA out. So my Lynx was modded to have VGA out. As you can see there, that's not native. So that's the best way to get a signal out of it. So then you have to like somehow figure out what you're gonna do with that. So it's like, that one is called a Rat Smart, but I don't even know that's a real brand. It's probably some Chinese thing. And this is where it gets real hinky of what you have to do. So again, adjusting the blur, apologize for that. So what's going on here is the Lynx can either display on its own screen, or you can have it set to go to the VGA out. You can't have both, so I have it set to go to VGA out. So now it runs from the VGA out into a FrameMeister upscaler, and I needed to do that because for some reason I couldn't send it directly into the TV, even though I can usually run VGA out through the Rat Smart into the TV. It wasn't working when I was trying to do it with my capture card, so I had to run it through a FrameMeister, probably something to do with the resolutions being recognized by the Elgato capture card, which is the next stop. So it goes through the FrameMeister, which is an upscaler, and I think it's just translating the signal into something that the Elgato can understand. So that's an Elgato capture card, one of the older models, Elgato capture card HD maybe? I don't know. Ask me in the comments if you're curious, or maybe I'll put it there. It runs the capture card. Now the capture card then splits the signal. Am I remembering correctly? Yeah, and it sends it to the TV, where you can see this is the Lynx blasting a signal that was only supposed to be on that tiny little screen up onto the TV. And you see I have Rampart playing here, and I think you're in the background, you're probably watching me messing around with Electrocop, a ambitious, flawed, ambitious, interesting game. And at the same time, the Elgato capture card is blasting it into the computer, into a capture program, which I have running here. And that's that. And so that's where the very video you're watching of Electrocop, that's how it got there. And that's how I'm doing it. You have to still play on the Lynx itself. So like in order to play the game, which is wired up here and it's hard to do one-handed, I actually have to like control it from the Lynx itself, which is like wired up like some surgical experiment here. The sound, the final loop is that the Rat Smart VGA HD converter does not pass through sound, so I actually have to run an 1/8 inch stereo wire to the Mac in order to get the sound into the Mac. And you can hear it coming out of my Mac speakers, but it's also going into the capture recording file there, so you can see the levels bouncing around there. And that's really it. Like, that's how this works. And there's Rampart, a really great game. Shout out to my buddy Shu, who loves that game. And I love it too. And that's it. That's how we're gonna do this. It's a little onerous, but I'd like to review some homebrew games, and thanks for checking out the video, and stay safe.